Champions League Preview, your full lowdown on all the last 16 fixtures as Europe's elite hope to follow Real Madrid as champions. The Champions League makes its long-awaited return this week with the first 4 last 16 ties taking place across Europe. As ever, we eagerly await the usual serving of spectacular goals, thrilling attacking football and moments of controversy as Europe's elite continue their march to the Cardiff final on June 3. We take a look ahead to the 4 games this week and the 4 next week, posing some of the key questions. Benfica v Borussia Dortmund. Estadio da Luz, live on BT Sport 3, second leg at Westfalenstadion on March 8. Borussia Dortmund were in sublime goal-scoring form in the group stage, finding the net 21 times to finish ahead of Real Madrid, though admittedly 14 of those came against Legia Warsaw. The reward for Thomas Tuchel's men is a fairly favourable draw against Benfica, who finished runners-up to Napoli in Group B. Indeed, the Portuguese side scraped through, having lost to Napoli on the final matchday, only to be rescued by Dynamo Kiev's unexpected 6-0 thrashing of Besiktas. Dortmund's form has been patchy of late and they are 15 points behind their rivals Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. They were beaten by lowly Darmstadt at the weekend and have won just 2 of their last 9. Nonetheless, with the league title gone, they can focus on a run in the Champions League similar to that of 4 years ago, when they reached the final, and they'll be favourites here. Paris Saint-Germain v Barcelona. Parc des Princes, live on BT Sport 2 and BT Sport Showcase, second leg at Nou Camp on March 8. When Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain were drawn together in the quarter-finals in 2015, it was about as one-sided as you get at this level. For Barcelona, who would go on to win the competition, they were 2 quite beautiful performances, a 3-1 first leg win in Paris and a 2-0 home victory in the return, with Lionel Messi, Neymar, and Luis Suarez in full flight. Those 3 remain central to their Champions League aspirations as Barcelona return to the French capital on Valentine's Day. Lionel Messi will, as ever, be central to Barcelona's hopes of winning the Champions League. And it already looks ominous for PSG, whose failure to beat Ludogorets Razgrad in their final group game saw them finish below Arsenal and landed them with this nightmare draw. Despite the stellar form of Edinson Cavani, whose 30 goals this season have compensated for the loss of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, they are unusually off the pace in the French league. Barcelona, meanwhile, stormed home in Group C, well ahead of Manchester City and racked up 20 goals in the process. Given that they trail Real Madrid in La Liga, Barcelona will be desperate to win the Champions League again to well and truly overshadow their rivals' achievements. Bayern Munich v Arsenal. Allianz Arena, live on BT Sport 2, second leg at Emirates Stadium on March 7. In the film, Groundhog Day is on February 2, but Arsenal fans have become accustomed to it falling a little later in the month. For 6 successive seasons, they have crashed out of the Champions League at the last 16 stage, losing to, in order, Barcelona, Milan, Bayern Munich, Monaco and Barcelona. So when the Gunners finally managed to top their group this season, they might have hoped for a more straightforward draw and a smooth passage to the quarter-finals. Alexis Sanchez is enjoying a fine season and will be hoping to lead Arsenal to the last 8. Alas, this happened to coincide with the one time Bayern didn't win their group, and so inevitably they have been paired together once again. Bayern, 7 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga, are the strong favourites, but at least Arsenal have the second leg at home this time. If Arsenal are to upset the odds and beat their nemesis, they need everyone to be firing on all cylinders. There should be no trouble with Alexis Sanchez, who has scored 19 goals this season, but Arsene Wenger is concerned for another one of their talisman, Mesut Ozil, who looks worryingly off-colour. But there are signs of encouragement in that Bayern do look more fallible this year, and recent performances have been far from convincing. Arsenal must negate the threat of Robert Lewandowski if they are to stand any chance. Real Madrid v Napoli. Bernabeu, live on BT Sport 3, second leg at Stadio San Paolo on March 7. The defending champions Real Madrid were a little slipshod in the group stage, with draws against Borussia Dortmund, twice, and Legia Warsaw ultimately costing them top spot to the Germans. However, Zinedine Zidane's side have more than enough firepower to start as overwhelming favourites against Napoli, who emerged top of the pile in Group B. With a firm grip on the La Liga title, Real could really make it a historic season if they were to claim a 12th European Cup win. And imagine Gareth Bale scoring the winner in Cardiff. Next Tuesday. Bayer Leverkusen v Atletico Madrid. Bayerina, live on BT Sport 3, second leg at Vicente Calderón on March 15. The Champions League offers a chance for salvation in what has been largely a season to forget for Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone would have wanted to create something special for their final campaign at the Vicente Calderón, but they're 7 points off the pace in La Liga and lost to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey semi-finals. At least finishing ahead of Bayern Munich in Group D presents a simpler last-16 tie against Bayer Leverkusen, and you can see them making progress against a side mid-table in the Bundesliga. Atletico Madrid forward Antoine Griezmann is attracting plenty of interest across Europe. Atletico seemed to specialize in grinding out results in the group stage, as has become their way at times, and they will, as ever, look to Antoine Griezmann in what could be his final few months at the club. To spring a surprise, Bayer will rely more than ever on former Manchester United striker Javier Hernandez after Hakan Calhanoglu was banned. Javier Hernandez celebrates after scoring for Bayer Leverkusen in their win over Frankfurt. Manchester City v Monaco. Etihad Stadium, live on BT Sport 2, second leg at Stade Louis II on March 15. Having come so near but so far last season, bowing out narrowly to Real Madrid in the semi-finals, Manchester City are desperate for another crack at the Champions League, especially with two-time winner Pep Guardiola at the helm. But they laboured at times in the group phase, drawing 3 of their 6 matches and suffering a footballing lessons at the hands of Lionel Messi and Barcelona in the Nou Camp. The return at the Etihad, when they won 3-1, was more like it, and one of those landmark results clubs seeking to establish themselves among Europe's elite put down. Pep Guardiola will be hoping to mastermind a third Champions League victory as a coach. City have rediscovered their winning touch in the past few weeks after a few hiccups this season, and they are closest to runaway leaders Chelsea in the Premier League. But they'll have to cure their well-documented defensive fragility against a free-scoring Monaco side who top the French league and have scored an astonishing 105 goals this season. Manager Leonardo Jardim certainly plays with the handbrake off, and he has resurrected the career of Radamel Falcao after his disaster in England. The Colombian has scored 22 goals this season, while Valère Germain, Kylian Mbappé, and Thomas Lemar have also achieved double figures. Monaco will be more than capable of hurting City on the break, as Tottenham found out in the group phase, and have the advantage of playing the second leg at home. Should be a very exciting contest. Porto v Juventus. Estadio Dragao, live on BT Sport 3, second leg at Juventus Arena on March 14. It's been another serene season for Juventus, who have effortlessly opened up a 7-point lead in Serie A and remain firmly on course for their 6th successive Scudetto and 33rd overall. But despite their domestic dominance, Juve remain among that group of teams beneath the elite of Barcelona and Real Madrid, striving to claim the biggest prize. They won their group, beating Sevilla in a decisive matchday 5 encounter, and will start as favourites to overcome Porto, a side who were far from convincing in Leicester's group. Gonzalo Higuain has proved as prolific for Juventus as they'd hoped. Gonzalo Higuain may have cost Juventus a pretty penny, but he repaying it handsomely with 21 goals and counting in League and Cup, considerably more than the likes of Paulo Dybala and Mario Mandzukic. Porto are, as you might expect, challenging Benfica for the Portuguese league title, and the main threat Juventus have to watch is 21-year-old hotshot André Silva, who has 17 for the season, including 5 in Europe. André Silva in action for Porto during their recent league match with Vitória Guimarães. Sevilla v Leicester City. Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan, live on BT Sport 2, second leg at King Power Stadium on March 14. These are extraordinary times for Leicester City, and this knockout Champions League tie with Sevilla barely seems real. Given their current fight with relegation in the Premier League, their European campaign seems almost a distraction, as enjoyable as it'll be for the thousands who follow the team to Spain next week. There was a distinct contrast between league and European form for Claudio Ranieri's team earlier in the campaign, as they breezed through the group stage while sliding down the Premier League table. Wes Morgan and Jamie Vardy ponder what's wrong as Leicester slump to defeat at Swansea. But as much as Ranieri would love this European run to go on forever, the fact they sit a place and a point above the trapdoor really focuses the mind and shuffles the priorities. Ranieri has threatened to axe his underperforming title winners from last season, but they'll be at full strength for this one. Sevilla are enjoying an excellent season and sit third in La Liga, within touching distance of Real Madrid and Barcelona, even if they are not exactly the most prolific scorers. French striker Wissam Ben Yedder is the man to watch with his 15 goals this season, and there are familiar names in the team such as Samir Nasri, Steven Jovtic, and Steven Nzonzi. Sevilla striker Wissam Ben Yedder shoots during their recent La Liga clash with Las Palmas.